So this is the second part about expanding planets, and this part is about the moon. Like you see here, this is a high resolution photo of the face we see every day, every night of the moon. Okay, so you can notice that it has two types of terrain, the lighter terrain and darker terrain. Obviously and logically, we are explained that the lighter terrain is older, and that the darker terrain is younger. And the reason is simple: they are blasted all the time with meteorites, time to time. It's old. And this one has many more marks than this part. So, logic, it's older, this part. Now, the light part, you see, it has many craters. Some have something inside, like the remains of the meteorite that hit them, and others have nothing. And on the darker part, you have what is called the ghost craters phenomena. So this is not a ghost crater. The ghost crater. This is, you see, this is a ghost crater. This is a ghost crater. There are very little remains, just a disk on the ground. You see that this is slightly lighter sand than this part. There was a crater here, and now there's nothing. What happened? This used to be a crater. What happened? This too. There are a lot of craters, and actually they are but the official theory, before to say about the ghost craters, the official theory is that a big meteorite came, not just one, many, and they hit the moon real hard, big meteorites, and they made enormous craters. And these craters, they triggered some enormous lava flows. You see, this must be, I don't know, the size of Europe or more. So they were lava flows, officially, with no atmosphere, and when there's no atmosphere, you really lose your heat really fast. But they say it, so we accept it. There are lava flows, and it covered all this stuff. All this. Okay. Well, okay, I think this theory is wrong. And that actually the moon is expanding, like the Earth, and like all the planets. We know some are slow, some are fast, but the moon is expanding. Okay. Now, let's see a real crater. What I mean by real is a young crater. This one is pretty young, but it's expanded. I tell you why. This one here, you see, it has the specifications of a crater. It has a splash, see, all around. Its shape inside of the planet is half spherical. And it has, I don't know if it has the remainings in the inside, but this one has. And it's pretty young. And it has a circular ridge. You see it with a shadow. This one is lighter, this one is darker shadow. Okay, this is lighter shadow, this is darker shadow. But this one is flat in the middle, and you see it because it's gray. It's the same gray all around. And there are a lot of flat craters with nothing in the middle and with incomplete ridges. Many. And the biggest ones, you see there, they're flat, they're spherically flat. And just another thing, if there's no atmosphere on the moon, no erosion, if there's no erosion, how come there's really nothing left? It's smooth. I don't know. But actually, this crater was small. It was a normal crater. Maybe a big one, but I don't know, maybe like this or more. This one was small crater too, and this one too. But all these, they were on the part of the moon that was the most weaker. It was very weak, this part, and when it started to expand, well, it tore up, and it tore up on this side. So it is expanded in a way that you can follow a logic. First, you can see right here the terrain is torn straight. This doesn't happen just like that, and this is something you call a clue about lateral pull. My best guess is that this part, and I don't know the composition of the surface of the moon, but this part is thick, maybe, and it's maybe more resistant than some other parts. And when some step of expansion happened, well, this was torn. And it doesn't just happen there. I noticed that it happens in here. You see here a lot of little straight cuts. It's expansion. It's lateral expansion. So it's expanding like this and like this. It's pulling now. And it's steering but it's only sand. That's why when it happens, after you don't see anything, there are just some remains. So we can say that the moon is mostly sand, white sand and black sand below. So when this big crater, remains of crater, when it was very small and it expanded, there was this one just next to it, and this one was forced to open like a mouse because this one was expanding first. And I don't know, it's just my theory, but I think that when it was closed, there was a little part that was here, and this part is this one, because it has the same curvature as the remain of the missing part here. You see, it is heavily torn laterally. There's a lot of pull, so there remains all over the place here. These are the remains of this. Maybe this came from here, but no, this is it's actually a detail that is not important. What is important is that this ridge and this ridge and this one, they were all one crater. And there's another phenomena that you can clearly see, and which is amazing and is a great argument for the expanding theory, is these folds here. You can see all these folds here. The terrain is folding, the flat part is folding. Officially, they said that there still is some lava inside, which is flowing, and add to this that it's under pressure. So it's digging, you see, it's digging its way under the surface, and then maybe replunging inside. I don't know. But they always explain something when they show it to you. And before you search or you try to understanding by yourself, they give you a logic, and then you don't search. You accept what is said. They know that the first one who talks is the one who's being followed. But this planet here, the moon, is spherically expanding. So when it was a smaller, I don't know the size, I'm just making this. When it was smaller and it began to expand, the first force was the folding force, because these folds, they are arranged circularly. And this is logic. If you take a piece of, I don't know, a piece of something, plastic or something, and if it's folded and you unfold it, it will make a mark, a ridge on the outer surface. It will be linear, straight. But if you unfold something that is spherical, it will make circles. This is a circle, and here you find there's something here too that folds